do you recommend YouTube, as we've been casting Dark like almost every KSL, these open cups as well? Dark did take a break after EWC. That is true. That is true. A lot of players did. Dark did. Hero did. They took like a month off. They took like a month vacation after EWC. But they are all back and raring to go. Dark is one of those players though that is still yet to conduct his military service. He's one of the few that hasn't done it. So we're still keeping an eye out for when that does occur. When it does, we'll let you know. We'll let you know. But here we go. We're diving into our next series here, and spawning in the bottom right-hand corner of King's Cove, we have the South Korean Zerg player, the blue Zerg representing Talent Esports. It is Dark. And spawning in the top left-hand corner, we have the South Korean Protoss player, the red Protoss representing Streamer Zone. It is NightMare. And Dark, he opens up once again with a hatch block. Fun fact, Dark, for the past like week, every game specifically on King's Cove, we've seen Dark do this. Like Dark, his go-to on this map is to go for the hatch block. As a reminder, this is not an all-in. Dark will be expanding back at home, will be taking his gases, going for his third base. He's going to be macroing out of this. This is just designed to delay the expansion of NightMare and disrupt the economy. We saw Dark do this against Classic. We saw Dark do this against Hero as well. This was during KSL this morning, actually. So Dark has been very fond of the hatch block on King's Cove. From here, he'll be able to get into his own standard opener. I guess one of the other reasons why you can get away with this a little bit easier on King's Cove is your back at home, your natural and your third base are very defendable. Likewise, long rush distance by ground, which means typically after dealing with this, the Protoss player would counterattack. They would counterattack with their Zealots and with their Adepts, the ones that they're forced to use. And the Zerg player could be in trouble, but it's going to be more difficult to counterattack on King's Cove. Oh, as the drone does barely make it past. Ideally, Dark wants to go for the gas steal. And NightMare should be worried. Yep, there we go. NightMare, he's on hold position. He does move the probe over. He's on hold position. And he will take his gas. Likewise, Dark just trying to force some inefficient mining. Being as annoying as possible. Forcing or pulling a Protoss. It's acting like he's Protoss back. But there we go. The drone does finally go down. And back at home, Dark is building up. Taking his gases. Going to be focusing on link speed. There we go. Link speed is already on the way. And it's going to be on Dark to defend against the eventual counterattack, as the Zealot and Adept are already moving out across the map. So you just have 3 hatch gas before pool. This, in a way, yes. I believe the gas was before the third base, if I'm not mistaken. But I guess technically still 3 hatch. But yes, Dark does this every game on King's Cove. If you haven't seen it before, you're seeing it now. As the Adepts, they do threaten a shade towards the main. Again, link speed is almost done. We're getting there. Alright, getting there. Back at him, going for a Twilight Council. Okay, Twilight Council response out of NightMare. You have my attention. Now, with the Twilight Council, I would imagine this is going to be Glaive Adepts. This could be the lead up into DTs instead. We'll see if NightMare pulls out of gas. So far, he's staying 3-3. Staying in gas. We'll see what he's got. As we'll see if we throw down that Robo. How many gateways get thrown down as well? Blink? Okay. This is different. This is very different. Going for a blink response instead. There's a lot to get into. First things first, Lings are going to cross. They're going to surround. Oh my god, they're going to surround. The sentry is going to fall. Yeah, massive pig off. Sentry goes down. Stalker as well. Ay. Very nice trades here from Dark. Will delay the third base. And Dark, he's link filling. Jesus, he's making 22 links behind this. He's flooding links across the map. His goal here is to overwhelm the Protoss. Overlord will fall that. Will supply block Dark. Oh my god. There we go. It does finally go down. Now when it comes to this blink response, I imagine this is going to be leading to a 3-base blink all-in, like an 8 gate is what I'm referring to. I think that NightMare still wants to expand, but against Mass Ling, NightMare is going to be struggling here. The Adepts, they can do what they can. But here comes the surround as Dark, he collapses in. Yeah, locks down the Adepts. Does lock them down. Likewise, Shade's going to be chased down as well. Dark, he's all over this. He cleans up every single adept, and he will force a cancel on the third. Now he can go for the kill. At least he tries to. Trying to knock down the front door. So far, NightMare, he does fully wall off. More gateways are on the way behind this, and he's forced into 2-base play. Ay. And again, he didn't want to. He did want to expand. And he's forced to expand towards the south? Oh, God. Okay. Very exposed expansion. I mean, what else can he do? Back at home, we do have our lair. Extra gas is being taken. I believe no tech yet. Oh, no, never mind. There is a Roach Warren. So Dark, he can commit into Roach Ravager. He could throw an extra tech into a Hydrogen or a Spire. We'll see if Dark does commit into Roaches. We'll see if he does commit. Predictions. Oh, my apologies. Oh, no. My bad. I'd forgotten. I was enamored with our players, Pappy. But yes, predictions are open. I apologize for them being late, but they are now open in the chat. Do apologize. Stark is getting ready for his dive. You see NightMare working towards charge, a forge, into his third base. Just a really awkward setup here by NightMare. Sure, he has blink, but he can't really make use of it. I'm sure he would have liked to have been active and aggressive, but he's stuck at home. As Dark is getting his macro hatchery, Lair is now done, investing into Roach speed. There's no further tech, there's no Hydrogen, there's no Spire, there's no Infestation Pit. Looks like Dark does want to commit with Ling Roach Ravager. Does seem to be the case. NightMare trying to be active. Will shave off some Lings, not bad. Is getting some value. Dark, has he scattered the third? He has not. Ooh, Dark, he has not seen the third base. Otherwise, he could have tried to abuse this. But Dark is in the dark. Doesn't know. Doesn't know what's going on. NightMare getting it fully saturated. Nicely done here by the Protoss. Getting it up and running. Meanwhile, Dark still building up more units. Cutting workers at 3-base saturation. You can see here that Dark is 4th base just for Larva. It's just for Larva. Oh, that I was not expecting, though. I was expecting him to go for a 3-base all-in, but the Spire tells a different story. That tells us that Dark, he will want to drone eventually and saturate this base. So there are layers. There are layers here to this follow-up from Dark. He is indeed moving out. And finally, he does scout the expansion. Finally, he's aware. Dark trying to collapse in the army. Nice positioning here from NightMare. He does pull away. Say force a warp in. Oh my god, very nice force fields. Dark getting shut down, but at the same time, here come the Roaches. And towards the third. Head towards the third base. Going for the pylon. While they will try to zone. Roaches are exposed. So far, NightMare, he's going to be able to force this back. Nice trades here from by NightMare. Ooh, we'll take a bow to the face. But he gets some of the Roaches. Lings, they do nothing. NightMare, he has momentum. Even catching out the Ravagers. Takes out the Ravagers one after the other. Dark racing back home. Banelings are on the way in a panic. And can NightMare can he deny the Banelings? Okay, he doesn't. He doesn't push on to creep. He backs off. Whew. Doesn't test his luck. He traded well. But is going to respect this position. And fall back from here. Now taking a 4th. Working towards his splash damage. Storm is not yet done. He's working towards Archon production instead. Those Archons are morphing in. Lings at the 4th. At the same time, and Dark pushing forward. NightMare trying to keep up. Bailey's waddling in. They crash into the Zealots. They have massive connections. Zealots take a lot of hits. Bailings, they do get into the middle line. Only one Bailing connects. When it looks like NightMare, he can barely not hold. Lings, they flood in. Dark is getting more ground, pushing towards the mineral line. Takes out all the Zealots. Stalker's under fire. It's so close, but again, NightMare, he's barely not holding on to those Stalkers. And Dark is just rallying. He's just rallying in. Did throw it in the Spire, but canceled. Never mind. He did cancel the Spire. Just committed with Ling Roach Ravager. And Dark, he never did saturate that 4th. He's just transferring workers over. Staying on 6 drones. On a 3-base economy. And he has broken the 3rd. It's broken the third base, and NightMare, he has almost nothing left. He's down to 2 Archons, down to 1 Immortal. Barely a standing army. GG gets called, and Dark will take game number 1. GG. GG, well played. Dark will take a lead in the series. Again, a very aggressive game from Dark, as we usually expect. Unfortunately, NightMare, he was unable to get a read on that. He was unaware of the massive Link Flood. As a response to the initial hatch block, he went into Blink, which is a really weird follow-up, I'll be honest. It's not seen too often. It almost felt like NightMare was trying to hard counter a Roach Rush. Like Blink Stalkers, they trade very well against, early Roach Ravager. So it looks like that's what he was trying to counter, but instead it was a Link Flood, so Stalkers they didn't really do much in the defense. Didn't get much done. And with that, we're now getting into game number 2. It's going to be on Ultra Love. Here we go. We're getting into Ultra Love. Ultra Love, likewise, has a shorter rush distance by ground compared to King's Cove, for example. Is a little bit more defendable. I'm curious what NightMare does, though. Really, my eyes are going to be on NightMare coming into this. How he responds, how he reacts, how safely does he play against Dark. Because we expect Dark to be aggressive, right? There's different forms of aggression for Dark, that is true, but aggression nonetheless. It's all about how his opponent responds. And spawning in the top right-hand corner of Ultra Love, we have our South Korean Zerg player leading the series 1-0. Representing Talent Esports, it is Dark. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner, we have the South Korean Protoss player, the Red Protoss representing Streamer Zone. Down in the series, we'll see if we can bounce back. It is NightMare. Here we go. NightMare Safari just going for a standard opener. This time Dark, he does not send out his drone. As we mentioned, going for the hatch block is something that is seen more often and more frequently on King's Cove, less so on Ultra Love. Dark should just be expanding. Likewise, so should NightMare. Probe being sent out across the map. Dark going for his hatchery here at the natural, so it should just be hatch gas pool. And we will settle in. Just settle in from here. There's the gas from here into link speed. And we'll see if NightMare does attempt to play safe. I mean, again, I do like the idea of NightMare going for a standard opener, in the sense of going for a Stargate into a third base, followed by an earlier Twilight Council, late Forge into faster Blink. In general, those kind of safer builds do quite well against Dark. Otherwise, you could go the alternate routes. Oh my god, as Dark gets this around, the probe does fall, and that's a rough start for NightMare. Now, with that, he has less scouting information. He won't be able to lay the third base, won't be able to confirm the third, or confirm the gases either. So, rough start here for NightMare. He's going to have to rely a lot more heavily here on the follow-up of the depth scouts. We'll see how we settle in. But referring to what can work well against Dark outside of just safer builds is more aggressive builds, is to kind of beat Dark to the punch, in a sense. Hero does this very well, where Hero goes for his own aggressive builds, goes for his own all-ins, and is able to strike Dark before Dark is really ready. We actually saw that this week in KSL. Again, recommend the VODs. Do recommend the VODs. But now, Twilight Council opener here out of NightMare once again. Interesting. With this Twilight Council, I would expect this to be either Glaives or Blink. Sorry, Glaives or DTs. But last game we saw Blink, right? Last game we saw Blink, which was a little bit odd to see. And I'm not too familiar with that kind of response. I've never seen that before, to be honest. So I'm curious if that was intentional, if NightMare does that again, or if he goes to something more standard. Keep an eye on NightMare. Back at home, Dark getting his third, droning up, pulling out of gas. There it is, a DT opener. Dark Shrine has been placed, so we have no pulled out of gas. Likewise, Overlord is forced back. And NightMare will be opening up with Dark Templar Harass into Archon Drop. And again, this is not an all-in. This is designed to gain value, to get some scouting information, to disrupt the economy, get some worker damage, kill some overlords, kill some queens, and get into a third, and into a macro game. So this is a macro opener here from NightMare. Back at home, Dark is in the dark. The Overlord did fall, and he wasn't able to see too much in the main, or anything at all, really, outside of the Stalker. Now, the Stalker is a little bit suspect. A Stalker openers usually mean it is going to be a Twilight Council. There's no reason to make a Stalker otherwise. Otherwise, it could be mind games. You know, there are some players that do open up Stalker and still go Oracle anyway, just to try to fake out their opponent. That's a really Roach one. Yeah, 4-minute Roach one here by Dark. Very nicely timed. Second gas on the way as well. Dark is playing safe. With this Roach Warren timing, he will be ready for Adepts. We know that there are none. Oh my god, as NightMare. We're going into Blink DTs. Let's go. Now, I'm curious if he commits here. Hero used to do this builds back in early 2023, where Hero, he would open up Blink, he would go for DT Harass, and he would not morph in Archons. He would actually keep the DTs as DTs, and he would just stay between the bases. He would snipe units here and there. He would be very careful. He'd preserve his DTs and gain value over time, and actually just avoid Archons altogether. Meanwhile, Dark moves out, and he's Roach rushing. He's all in. Okay, Dark, he does strike the third. He's going to force a cancel. Likewise, will force offensive DTs as well, which is going to be less than ideal. There we go. First DT's on the way. Dark, he does notice. Layer's halfway done. And DTs, they will defend. But they won't save the expense. Or will they? They will. Okay, let's go. They save the base. They save the third. DT's moving out across the map. Back at home. Do we have a Spore? We have a Spore at the natural. We have a Spore at the third. And Darky's ready. He's ready for this. He moves out across the map regardless. We're waiting for that Overseer. There they are. Overseers are on the way. The Roaches are taking a lot of hits, though. Taking a lot of damage. They have to try to rotate back around towards the detection. That's going to be what? It's going to be one Roach going down. And Darky's committing. He does commit. Trying to get this around. Trying to drag the army out of position. Detection has arrived. He collapses on the third. Yeah, and there's no surviving this. Not like this, papi. Ay, ay, ay. Archon gets surrounded, and NightMare is going to lose this third. There's no saving it. Not against this kind of army. DTs are raised back to defense. They blink away. And before NightMare could really embrace his own build, Dark, he knocks him down. He knocks him down. Collapses on the third. Rotates over towards the third, towards the natural as well. Nice kiting here out of Dark. GG gets called, and Dark, he will take the series 2-0. GG. GG, well played. Congratulations here to Dark, as he will take the series or advance on into the next round. Again, a very aggressive build here out of Dark. Even though I was really excited to see how NightMare would make use of those DTs, Dark struck first. He went for a 4-minute Roach Warren, and I didn't even notice that Dark, he had cut workers. He was just massing up Lings back at home, and then going for a Roach timing. Again, just being the aggressor instead, not allowing NightMare to actually get into his build and get into his game. GG. GG well played. I mean, that's Dark in a nutshell. Dark will take the series, will advance on into the next round, and with that, let's head on over and figure out where we are.